Good morning. And yes, I'm starting on section 35 because I've tried to download it several times. It wouldn't download. I had probably about 21-minute video. This is going to be a really short video. In that video, one of the things I did say was I wanted to make things short because I want people to concentrate a little bit on the extra material there is. If you look up in the right-hand corner here, we've got the um, historical resources, which is really good. And I went through some of those and some of the first-hand accounts of Hiram and his brother uh, Joseph. I guess usually it's Joseph and his brother Hiram, but I guess Hiram's the oldest. Um, is what I'm thinking. And I think it's still worth going through. But look at the material on Come Follow Me and in those places. They're really helpful. Um, there's so little in these sections. These sections are here to tell us the facts. Actually, to tell you, this one actually tells you pretty much all you need to know about the martyrdom. Um, but there's so much other things around it that is interesting to read about and find out about, and I find them inspiring and faith promoting, and I hope you would too. So come follow me and the scriptures in context. But I'm just going to read the first two, and because that's the ones that are missing. Um, and I'd read the rest earlier this week. This will be put in as uh, section 325, which is the one that's missing, or not section 325. Episode 325, almost the end of the year. So, in section 135, it's the announcement of martyrdom of Joseph Smith the prophet and his brother Hiram Smith the patriarch at Carthage, Illinois, June 27, 1844. This document was included at the end of 1844 edition of the Doctrine and Covenants, which was nearly ready for publication when Joseph and Hiram were murdered. Now, I found it interesting that when you find out about this, um, the it was ready for publication, and the only page they only had, like, I think a page and a half or something, a blank page at the end um, of the book, and so they decided to put it on there, and that is why they wrote it the way they did, and also it was put in smaller type in that edition to fit it all in. And um, so it was ready. It was supposed to be ready um, by the next month, just before they died. So it's interesting. Is just all they had, and I think that's interesting because they had the book ready to go. And we kind of talked about the Doctrine and Covenants, Book of Mormon, as things that was brought to pass. And remember, Hiram has been there from the beginning, not just the beginning of anything, beginning of Joseph's life to when he went to the grove of trees, to when he received the plates of uh, for the Book of Mormon. Yeah, he is there for all that, and he's one of the 8 witnesses of the Book of Mormon, not one of the 3, but one of the 8. he has been around in the background for all of this, and he's hardly ever taken a big. I'm. He's taken big roles, but he's not taken the roles. Like he wasn't. Sorry about that. He wasn't one of the three witnesses. He wasn't the one that went with Joseph to get the gold plates. He wasn't uh, the one that was in Kirtland Temple with Joseph to see um, Jesus and the other prophets to receive the keys. But he has been probably the most faithful person of all for Joseph Smith, next to his own mother. Um, and his son will become president. Aaron's son will become president of the church one day uh, um, after this. So we read, to seal the testimony. I don't know why my marking's not on this page today. Oh well. Um, to seal the testimony of this book and the Book of Mormon, this book meaning the Doctrine and Covenants, we announce the martyrdom of Joseph Smith the prophet and Hiram Smith the patriarch. They were shot in Carthage jail on the 27th of June, 1844, about 5 p.m., by an armed mob painted black, from 150 to 200 persons. Hiram was shot first and fell calmly, exclaiming, "I am a dead man." Joseph leapt from the window and was shot in the attempt, and exclaiming, "O Lord my God." They were both shot after they were dead in a brutal manner, and both received 4 balls. Um, and then, of course, the other 2 people that were in there was John Taylor and Willard Richards. Both of them were members of the 12 apostles. And we know that John Taylor um, becomes president of the church as well after Brigham Young. And Willard Richards became one of Brigham Young's counselors, I believe. At this time, he was actually one of the scribes and one of the historians for the church as well. So it almost seems very well, it seems fitting that he was there, that he was taking um, notes from Joseph Smith before this, or writing down things um, before and after. Um, 2 of the 12, oh, it says 2 of the 12, were the only persons in the room at the time. The former was wounded in a savage manner with 4 balls, but has since recovered. The latter, through providence of God, escaped without even a hole in his robe. And that was prophesied by Joseph Smith as well, that he would one day, this Willard Richards, would be there'd be bullets flying around him and he wouldn't be hurt. John Taylor took the same 4 balls, but he didn't die as did Joseph and Hiram. But he was very close to death, and some really interesting um, things happened after Joseph had jumped out of the building. Uh, all of the mobsters ran downstairs, leaving Willard Richards and John Taylor alone in the room with Hiram Smith. Hiram, of course, was dead, and Willard takes John Taylor out of that room and hides him under a mattress um, in a different room. And Willard stands guard, thinking if they come back, he's going to have to try to defend them in that room. None of the rooms seem to have locks on the doors. Kind of an interesting prison. But they never did come back. Of course, as soon as they'd had the prophet, killed the prophet, they ran away, thinking, I don't know what they're thinking, but it's really weird what people do. So that's all I'm going to do today, since it's a week late. And then I'll put this in for anybody that's listening to these late, um, or anytime they listen to them. But I really appreciate the testimony of Joseph Smith and of Hiram Smith, and I really appreciate what John Taylor and Willard Richards was able to do in their lives as well. And I'll fit this in, and hopefully it'll fit with all the other things that I've already done. And we're going to start next week, and it'll be very close to the end of the year. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.